the fairies are just saying you need to recognize who you are. This is very... Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest. We are in another episode of Ask the Fairies. So we are going to ask the fairies through the cards what they foresee for us for the week of December 14th through the 20th. And we have something special coming up on December 21st, 2020, which may be alluded to in this card reading, or maybe they will save that for the following week. I guess we'll see. So let us take a look at what the fairies are sharing for this upcoming week. And I did, as usual, swish the cards all around on the table to make sure they're good and shuffled. Okay, so the first card, we have the Jack of Clubs. Second card is the Two of Diamonds. Third card is the King of Diamonds. Fourth card is the Queen of Clubs. So there is the 4-card layout for December 14th through the 20th. Let's take a look and see what the fairies have to share with these cards. So let's cover first impressions here. We have 2 clubs, we have 2 diamonds. What we do not have are spades, and we do not have hearts, which interestingly we had mostly hearts. 3/4 of the cards last week were hearts. So that is significant also. And this reading is going to move forward from last week's reading, the way that it looks. So let's take a look at what I mean here. Lancelot du Lac, the 11 of clubs. And you can see, hopefully, yep, Lancelot du Lac. And that just means Lancelot of the Lake. And the reason that that is the way that it is because when Lancelot was a baby, according to legend, his mother passed away, and the Lady of the Lake took him in and raised him under the water, endowing him with a lot of magical power. And when he was 18, he was allowed to leave the lake and go out and find himself, basically. But having had that experience, Lancelot was basically reborn when he came out of the water. So last week's reading had all those hearts, and the fairies were telling us that the way to defeat all that is happening and to take our earth back is to put out a lot of love, high vibration. Okay? So coming out of that water, the fairies are telling us this is what we can be. If we follow through with last week's reading, this is what we can be. We can be like Lancelot. He's a very extraordinary being because he encompasses both the male, which is the rational, conscious realm where he was born, okay, on the earth, so to speak, and the female, the intuitive, unconscious realm where he was raised under the water. So he is a balanced male and female. And he has, because of this, because he is balanced in this way and knows both sides of the coin, so to speak, he is able to rationalize and be intuitive. And he has magical gifts that were bestowed upon him by the Lady of the Lake, the woman who took him in. Now, this is a club. And again, we've been talking about the air so much in these readings. And because that's pretty much where this whole thing started, okay? Saying the air is bad. There is something going on with the air. And, to protect ourselves, we have to make sure that we have a face covering of some sort. Well, this club, he was able to breathe under the water. He's able to breathe above the water because this is who he is. He is of the earth, both under and above. So this is kind of the fairies' way of saying, breathing. Doesn't matter where you are, you need to breathe. It is an absolutely necessary thing to do. And we weren't born with any kind of covering over our faces. And he was never brought under the water with any kind of covering over his face because she obviously did something magical to allow him to be able to be underneath the water. So this is the extraordinary type of being that we can be if we go ahead with raising our vibration as the last week's reading had suggested. And this is just for us to take a look at the moment. There's no diamond here, which is what the natural card for this position would be. And diamond would create action. But there's no action needed at this moment. The fairies are just saying you need to recognize who you are. This is very important, and this will begin to come up through the raising of vibration. We'll start to notice things about ourselves that make it possible to be more than we currently are, even though we've always been what the fairies are showing us. Okay, so the next card then is the Two of Diamonds. And if you look at this card, if I can get it to focus, you can see that there is a man lying there going underneath the earth. That is the sun. And the woman on top is considered the moon. Okay, they are rivals. Even though they both get their time in the sky, they are still rivals. And the point of this card is to let us know that sometimes rivalry is necessary to bring out the best in us. And the diamonds represent transformation, spiritual transformation for us. And it is necessary to have a rivalry of some kind. Otherwise, we just kind of sit by the sidelines and, watch the world go by, so to speak. We all have our certain drives that make us do specific things, but a rivalry of importance, something that is as important as day and night, okay, to us, that will make us step up our game. If there are two different sides of the coin and we need to push so that we can reach the potential that the fairies have shared here. But there has to be a catalyst for us. There's always a catalyst. And in this case, the catalyst has to do with the club that is missing here. It has to do with our communication and our creativity. And again, our air, things that are being taken away. And that is a huge catalyst to make us work to become the beings we are actually already, but don't recognize as yet. Now the third card, Leo, we have had before, the King of Diamonds. And he is a very important card. And in fact, I believe in one of the readings he sat in the same spot. This king rules the earth. He even rules over the King of Spades. So having him in this heart position, it is a diamond, but it is in the heart position. Having him in that position shows what we should be striving for. We rule this earth. That is what all this is about. That's what everything has been about. We rule this earth. And you can guarantee that this king is not going to allow anyone to step up and get in his way and take away his realm. Still, we have no spades in this reading. That means the earth is not ours. But this king is a mover. He's a shaker. He wants to make things happen. The fairies want you to understand that this king represents all of us. So does Lancelot. This is who we are spiritually. This is who we are on the earth. So we need to take action. Some of that action may have to be somewhat secretive because there are forces out there that are trying to dry up our well. Thus, this is in the heart position. Trying to dry up our inner emotional well, as we talked about in the last reading last week. And the fairies are saying, don't spill out everything that you plan at this time. Work together and do it like you are this king, because it is your right. This earth is our right. So in looking at this last card, which is Leah, the Queen of Clubs, she is the queen of the lighter side of nighttime. In other words, she is about the dreaming and the mystery and the knowing of the unconscious mind, okay? And she sits in the position of a spade. But with all this going on, her part in this is to try to connect us in our dreams so that we can work together in secret to some degree to do whatever battle plan is necessary, to take the earth back as we are meant to take our air back as we are meant to. So basically, whatever we can wish, whatever we can believe, whatever we can envision, this is the power that is awakened in us through this queen. And the action is encompassed by this. Our spiritual transformation is encompassed by this communication and by breathing. Breathing is imperative. So the top card and the bottom card, Lancelot and Leah, they're magical beings, just as we are. And our transformation is extremely important. We need to become those balanced people from the hearts, the raising of the vibration that we talked about. We need to become those magical people. And as you can see, we have an 11, a 13, and a 12. 3 of these cards are very high vibration. And this 2, this is, again, the rivals. But it is for some quite the fight to want to become the beings that we are meant to be. Some are still holding on to the King of Spades rather than embracing the diamond, the King of Diamonds, which is us. Many are still wanting to put their power into that King of Spades, to trust that he's doing everything for us that he's supposed to do. Not factual. And the fairies are sharing this. If we want to ever have a spade, ever have the earth back, we need to develop who we are and work in unity together, knowing who we are. Because our vibration is so high, nothing can touch us. We are at the highest point we can be. And we're not doing this alone. The fairies are telling us, too, that there are beings out there who are helping. Our spirit guides, our past loved ones, the fairies. Many different beings do not want to see the earth destroyed. They do not want us to lose our place in it. So I think that's a pretty amazing message from the fairies this week for the 14th through the 20th. So that's it for now. Until next week, take care.